So Andrew, you've got two whiskies here that are from the higher price range.
Yep.
Talk me through them.
Okay, the first whisky we've got is Balvenie 21-year-old, portwood finish. Both these whiskies are from the Speyside region.
Right.
The interesting thing about the Balvenie 21-year-old is we're using a maturation process at the end called finishing, and it's finished in port pipes.
This is quite an artisan sort of a whisky, isn't it, the Balvenie?
Yeah. Balvenie's quite an interesting distillery. It's one of the few distilleries in Scotland where you actually have everything going on at the distillery.
Right.
They do their own maltings, they have the cooperage up at Dufftown at Balvenie Distillery, and they even grow some of their own malted barley at the back of the distillery itself, so it's quite an interesting little place.
Lovely. And then we've got the Glenlivet beside it.
Yeah, the Glenlivet's, as they say, the malt that started it all, one of the first distilleries to have a legal licence. I think there was some distilling going on beforehand, but this is a very complex whisky, coming in about £249. A lot of chocolatey notes, quite a dark whisky, more after dinner, I would say.
So this is £249, and that's
just over 100.
just over 100.
Just over £100.
So it's quite a range then.
Yes, that's right.
Should we give them a try?
We shall.
Start with the Balvenie.
Start with the Balvenie. This is quite interesting because this is cask strength and non-chill filtered. So this is exactly as it come out the cask.
Right.
So you're going to get classic Balvenie tasting notes. So you're going to get some honeys, some appley notes, some pineapple flavours.
It's very delicate, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's quite a surprising whisky because it will develop as you add a touch of
And
water.
certainly a sort of a tropically...
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, certainly.
So it's always quite an interesting whisky because at distilleries they always have their second favourite malt. So obviously their first malt whisky is from the distillery they work from. A lot of the distillers really like Balvenie as their second dram.
And there's a real sort of viscosity to it, isn't it?
That's
It's
right.
quite a thickness on the tongue.
Yeah, the mouthfeel on it is very, very creamy.
Creamy, exactly.
And you get that lovely long finish on Balvenie 21. But you should get on the
it's like drinking gold, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like
on the palate you should get some really kind of dark fruits going on there. So really complex. You go from honeys to dark fruits. So it's a really
a lot of length to it as well.
Yeah, quite complex.
Right, the Glenlivet.
Yeah. As I said, this is quite a dark whisky for me. Definitely after dinner. Not so much late at night, but you know it would go perfectly with dark chocolate. Maybe if you've had some rich meat or game. This has certainly got some complexity. Quite different to Balvenie, both from the same region.
So there's two things going on there. It's got quite a masculine, kind of muscular body to it, but at the same time it's got some quite delicate notes.
Yeah, well, Glenlivet classically has kind of strawberry apple tendencies within the whisky. And obviously this has been matured for 25 years, so you know it's going to get a lot of character from the wood. There's some sherry wood.
It's much brighter than the Balvenie, isn't it? And slightly not quite as thick.
No.
A bit more punchy.
Yeah.
And a lot more sort of sudden personality, isn't it?
And that's all about mouthfeel, front of the whisk, front of the palate. You're going to pick up a lot of those kind of sweeter notes, and that's coming from the sherry wood that's used.
Sherry, exactly.
Sherry
You really
wood.
can taste the sherry.
Yeah. And that's a big influence on this whisky.
Which one, if you had between £100 and £250 to spare, which one would you go for Christmas?
A tough question. I'd probably persuade my wife to get both. But if she was in typical
politician's answer.
If she was in typical Scottish fashion, I'd probably go for the more expensive, the Glenlivet.
Well, I think it really depends on the time of day. I mean, the Balvenie is more of a sort of early evening introduction to the meal, and then the Glenlivet is as Andrew said, for later on at night when you've had your meal and you're feeling quite satisfied to kind of hunker down and settle in for the night. The Glenlivet is what I would choose.